Wake up, Mam Fam. We're rope dropping Universal Studios, Florida. Good morning, Mam Fam, and welcome back to the Rope Drop series, the series where we head to the parks before they open to test out that tried and true theme park tradition of rope dropping. Rope dropping is named after the fact that they used to have literal ropes that would prevent you from getting into the park. They would drop them at park open, and guests would run to their favorite attraction. Nowadays, we just call rope dropping getting to the park for admission right when the park opens and taking advantage of some shorter waits. So let's roll the tape back to when it was much colder and much earlier this morning to see how it went. Captain's log, 8:06 a.m. and I'm here at City Walk. Now, for today's video, I will be assuming the role of a non-resort guest and a non-pass holder, and I will not be attending early park admission. Early park admission is a perk of staying at one of the Universal hotels. It's also a perk of certain types of annual passes on certain days, and it allows you 1 hour early access into one of the parks, which is great because it's often at Islands of Adventure, like it is today, and that means if you get there early enough, you can get on Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM pretty quickly, which is perfect because they don't have Express Pass, and then you can enjoy the rest of your day. Velocicoaster is usually often open. But today, again, I am being neither of those things. Just being a guest who's come for the day. And if all goes according to plan, we're gonna have a really nice morning here at Universal Studios Florida, and I'll show you why if you're not an annual pass holder or you're not a resort guest, maybe you should consider starting over here. Captain's log, 8:08. I have 50 plus minutes before the park opens, which means it's time to make a pit stop quick. Target acquired. What, you think I was getting a donut? No, I hate donuts. That's a me thing. Now, do you think Voodoo Donuts, delicious donuts, if you like donuts. Didn't have a long line, actually had a shorter line than Starbucks, hence coffee. And now I'm gonna go wait in the line over yonder to get into the park. About 45 minutes till the park officially opens. Not a huge crowd so far, which is a good sign. I will say, Voodoo Donut had a very cute shark wearing a little sweater as part of their decor in there, which I did quite enjoy. It's kind of bonkers how few people there are here, especially because I've been doing this series at Walt Disney World, and the last video I did there was Magic Kingdom. And let's just say the park looked a little different 30, 45 minutes before it opened. Now, to be fair, this is much different than Islands of Adventure would look like 30 minutes prior to regular open, which is 9 a.m. Today. If you can get in at that 8 a.m. time, which is again for early park admission, I do recommend getting there at least 30 minutes early if Hagrid's is of the utmost importance to you, because a lot of people are going to get there early. So to fully maximize EPA, I'd be there at like 7:30, if not a little bit earlier. And then you get to get in right around 8 and scoot right over to Hagrid's, which usually at that point, if you get in there early, is less than 45 minutes, which is phenomenal for that attraction. But stay tuned, because I think we might get a little Hagrid's action ourselves today with a little knowledge I have in my noggin. 8:28. We have just gotten an announcement reminding us that early park admission is at the other park and that this park will open at 9 a.m. However, the team members have come out, and so I'm assuming they're going to let us into the park a little bit before 9. They just don't want to get a backup here at the front, which honestly is not anywhere near as backed up as I've seen any of the Disney parks for rope drop. Or, again, Islands when they have early park admission. Speaking of Islands, I just looked at the wait times over there, 30 minutes approximately into early park admission, 15 minutes at Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, 15 minutes at Velocicoaster, 20 minutes at Flight of the Hippogriff, 105 at Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM, which again is why I say if you want to rope drop Hagrid's as a resort guest, you need to get there early because again, it's not even 8:30 yet and it's a 105-minute wait. Which also means if you're not a resort guest and trying to get into Islands at 9, you're too late. You've already missed rope drop. It's gonna be 90 plus minutes when the park actually opens. 8:47, my eye won't stop watering because it's 53 degrees outside right now. What is happening? Hold on. It's better than being like 96, I guess. And the gates are officially open. I think they're going to let us in soon. So before they do, a couple of my favorite rope drop tips. Number one, make sure when you're getting up to the gate, you've got your ticket ready. I've got mine right in hand. If you need an ID, make sure you have that as well. Make sure you have it pulled up on your phone. Whatever you have, make sure you are ready to go for everyone in your party when you get up to the gate. Number two, most importantly, be friendly to the team members. They're trying to get you in as quickly as possible. So if there is some kind of issue with your ticket or anything, just know that they're doing their job to get you in as quickly as possible, which leads me to, of course, number three, pack those patient pants. No matter which park you're going to, rope drop is a little bit crazy, and while I've seen that it's not quite as busy here so far as it is at Walt Disney World, at least not where I'm standing, there are a lot of people here. Everyone's trying to get in the park. Everyone's trying to do the same thing.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Universal Studios Florida. We have some absolutely unforgettable experiences waiting for you just on the other side of these gates. But first, we must open the park.
Yeah.
So please join me in welcoming from the great state of Minnesota, the Prendergast family, our honorary family of the day.
We're the Prendergast family, and we're from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Woo!
Welcome to Universal Studios Florida. The gates to the studio are now open.
Yeah!
Lights, camera, action!
Yeah! Captain's log 8:50 a.m. and we are officially in the park. I was like the third person in line at the turnstiles, and we are in, and we are not running. Running is lame, friends. Running is against the rules, and cool kids follow the rules. Also, you could fall down and hurt yourself, and that would be a literally terrible way to start the day at the theme park. But we are walking briskly for both warmth and to get to our first destination, which I assume most people are headed to, which is not shocking to anyone, I'm sure. We're headed to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. It does seem that everyone in this very manageable group of people is headed towards Diagon Alley. Saw a couple people waiting off to the side at Revenge of the Mummy. Shockingly, no one is waiting to go in to see the family at Fast and Furious Supercharged. That's weird. And I saw a couple people head the other way, which is probably like Simpsons, E.T. Listen, I respect it if you want to rope drop E.T. Love you, bestie. Quick little hello to my bestie. But it does seem that for the most part, in this park, people are headed to get on Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts, which we are too. But because of the rope drop size today, I think it'll be pretty manageable, even though that seems to be the number one destination. Derailed myself for just a second on the way in because I saw this sign that says certain attractions open at 10. That includes Men in Black, E.T., Simpsons, and Twirl and Hurl, which is also in the Simpsons area. So if you are rope dropping and that was your goal, make sure you look in the app to see what time they open, because you don't want to get all the way there for them not to be open. As of now, my best recommendations would be Diagon Alley or Mummy, because those are both very popular and will get longer lines throughout the day. Oh man, and I'm excited to walk into a not super crowded Diagon Alley first thing. And this is why you roped out Diagon Alley. Sorry, I've been here a lot. I don't know why this is making me emotional. Probably because there's like no one in here. And it's just like, this is it. This is why you do it. Now, truth be told, I would be perfectly content right now not getting on a ride and just walking around and looking at details and doing some magic. But we are gonna ride the ride and so I can clock it and everything. And I think that's what most people do. But like, if you are a Wizarding World fan, getting in here early and getting to take advantage of some of the quietness and the calm in this very hectic land normally. Hold on. I think it's too windy for her. She's a very considerate dragon, and before she breathes fire, which is on the 10s, she checks the wind, and I think it's too windy right now, if I had to guess. So she growled, but she didn't actually breathe fire. But we'll check again later. But anyway, it's just, this is so magical. Let's go to the bank. Also had a couple people lining up for the early Ollivander shows, which I talked about in a recent video over at the island side, but that is the little wand experience where you get to choose your wand. They'll choose one person to be a part of the show, and then anyone can purchase one, but you don't have to go to the show if you just want to buy a wand in the shop. We, however, are headed to Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts, which is a part roller coaster, part dark ride, part simulator in 3D that takes place inside Gringotts Bank. Has one of the most amazing queues ever built. Absolutely stunning. 42-inch height requirement, and it takes place very specifically in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, as Harry, Ron, and Hermione have snuck into Gringotts to steal the Horcrux from Bellatrix Lestrange's vault. It's so delightful, but I do gotta drop my camera into a locker, so let's do that. Like many attractions here at Universal, there are lockers required for thrill rides just because of safety reasons. Now, this ride, you can bring a smaller item like a fanny pack, or a lanyard and a phone or something that can fit in your pocket, but you do not go through metal detectors. However, things like backpacks or my big camera cannot fit. So there are smaller lockers for free or bigger lockers for a couple dollars. It's just unbelievable in here with the chandeliers and the goblins, and they move and they count and they write and they talk.
To have your Gringotts identification photo taken.
But what's amazing about coming in this early when there's not a ton of people, you can actually take your time a little bit more walking through there. I saw plenty of people stopping to take pictures and get selfies and look at the goblins a little closer. And not that you can't do that normally, it's just when there's less people, it's easier to kind of pause and it's not so go, go, go. Now, another detail I love, if you look through this part of the queue, you've got mudbloods and the dangers they possess. You've got the moving newspapers, including Undesirable Number 1 and the death of Dumbledore. Because again, this takes place at a very specific point in time in the story.
Accio keys. Ferry or board a cart for the journey to the vaults beneath the Gringotts.
For your safety, remain seated. Hold on to the lap restraint and keep your hands.
That was fabulous. Also came out right as the dragon was breathing fire. Like, does not get more magical than that. It took me 5 minutes, even walking very, very slowly through the queue, taking lots of pictures and videos and stopping. It took me 5 minutes to get into the pre-show, and I was on the ride in less than 15. It's still posted at a 15-minute wait. It's now 9:30, so like a perfect choice because this ride is very popular and will definitely hit an hour, if not longer. It's often 75, 90 plus minutes, so this is a great one to rope drop. Now at this point, if you wanted to keep chugging along with rides, most things in the park still have a very low wait. Revenge of the Mummy right now has a 25-minute wait. Despicable Me Minion Mayhem right at the front of the park has a 35-minute wait. That's another good one to rope drop if that's on your must-ride list. And then most other things in this park, again, open at 10 a.m. So if you're a ride person, you could head back and grab Mummy while it's still pretty low. I do love Mummy, but we are going to continue our morning in the most magical of lands in Diagon Alley and then see where the magical winds take us. Again, I highly recommend a little wand magic this early because of how uncrowded Diagon Alley is. And wand magic is something that, as it gets more crowded throughout the day, there's no way to skip the lines. It's not like an attraction with Express Pass. It's just waiting for other people to be done with the magic spots. So wand magic would be a great use of time right now, as well as what we're gonna go do, which is grab a bite to eat from the Leaky Cauldron. Is the main dining location here in Diagon Alley, and it's a little bit more traditional British fare than you're gonna find over at the Three Broomsticks and Hogsmeade. Regardless, both restaurants get very, very busy. They're very, very popular, as you can imagine. So if you can come in for breakfast and their breakfast menu, which runs until 10:30, one, you're gonna get a little bit less expensive of a meal, and one of my favorite little secrets is included with the meal, and two, it's likely gonna be less crowded than if you come like at peak mealtime. I just love it in here so much. It is so magical, like, and so immersive when you look at the high beams and you look at all the artwork. I love the Sirius Black poster on the wall. I mean, that man is acting like the rent is due in this 10-second clip. Amazing. I love that you can look up and it looks like it goes up further to where the inn guests would be sleeping. I just adore coming in both here and the Three Broomsticks, and breakfast is the perfect time for a couple reasons. One, as I already said, it's a lot less crowded in here during breakfast. which means you're gonna get your food faster, you're gonna be able to get a seat faster than if you come at peak mealtime where the restaurants, the Harry Potter restaurants are very, very busy too. In general, breakfast at theme parks is less expensive than regular meals. So if you are parking on a budget or want to be the most budget conscious about what you're spending on food, breakfast is typically less expensive. And that is especially true at Harry Potter for a couple reasons. One, this is my breakfast this morning. First things, this is a kid's meal. I often recommend ordering kids' meals as a way to save money at theme parks because kids' meals are just smaller version of adult meals in a lot of cases. This is the kids' pancake breakfast. I still got 2 pancakes, a piece of bacon, a piece of sausage, a full-size croissant. I think the only difference with the adults version is you get 3 pancakes and I think 2 pieces of bacon. They also have a kids version of the traditional breakfast or the American breakfast, which is like scrambled eggs. The other reason to get breakfast in the Wizarding World is that you get a drink with it. And yes, that is a hot butterbeer. A hot butterbeer on its own is like $8, and I spent, with my annual pass holder discount, just over $12 for the entire meal. And as you can see, this is a pretty sizable breakfast, even being a kid's meal. Now, the thing about the beverages here is why breakfast in the Wizarding World is such a good choice, because every meal, kids or adults, comes with a small beverage. And they have under the breakfast menu listed like pumpkin juice as a specialty beverage, but then they just have like milk and coffee and regular breakfast beverages. But it can actually be any non-alcoholic beverage on their menu, which means you can get butterbeer, you can get frozen butterbeer, you can get hot butterbeer, you can get some of the other specialty Harry Potter drinks. Now, the catch is it's gonna be a smaller cup if you order like regular butterbeer. It's gonna be a smaller pour than if you get the real one. But if you order the hot butterbeer, it already comes in a smaller cup. So this is a full-size hot butterbeer that I got as part of my meal. And again, I spent $12 on this entire thing versus 8 something with tax on just a hot butterbeer, which was what it would cost normally. And truly, I'm just hashtag blessed that it's cold enough to drink hot butterbeer today because it's my favorite. God, it's so good. It's like drinking a cupcake. It's so sweet. It goes against everything I stand for, but it's delightful. And more than likely, if you're coming to the Wizarding World, you're going to want to consume butterbeer. So if you're okay getting a smaller pour of it, or it's kind of like a bonus butterbeer, you get that included with breakfast here and 3 broomsticks. All right, but how is the breakfast? Let's dig in. I'm normally a savory breakfast girly, but for some reason, pancakes sounded better than scrambled eggs this morning. Tastes like a pancake with butter and syrup. A good pancake with butter and syrup. I don't think anyone's gonna be upset with that. Trying a little of the sausage and the bacon as well. Pretty standard breakfast sausage. I wish it was a little bit spicier. There's not a ton of heat, it's not peppery or anything, it's just very basic breakfast sausage. And the bacon, pretty good bacon, crispy and delicious. Now, obviously, this is not that exciting of a meal. It's not that unique of a meal. You're gonna get that more at lunch and dinner at these restaurants. I love the fish and chips, which is at both restaurants, which I also order in a kid's meal, by the way, because again, it's the same thing, just a smaller, more manageable portion. But again, it's less expensive to come in breakfast. You do get a drink, and if you've got pickier eaters that want to come in and experience Harry Potter that maybe are not gonna eat fish and chips, they're not gonna eat roast chicken or ribs, which is over at 3 broomsticks, and they're not going to eat bangers and mash and toad and hold, the more traditional British food here, then I think breakfast is a great bet because I think that you're going to be more easily able to find something that'll appeal to a picky eater, and you still get to eat in the restaurant, which is really the whole point. Finished up a delicious breakfast at the Leaky Cauldron through my croissant right in here. I recommend packing Ziploc bags with you because you never know what you're going to need to put into your bag, and a croissant is like a perfect thing to take with you, which comes with a lot of the meals for breakfast there. And also, I don't care how many times I come to this land. It's my favorite land in the whole world. I notice new details every time. Like, you'd think I would have exhausted them all by now, but no, today I was looking around at the Leaky Cauldron and I was looking at the post boxes where the those staying at the Leaky Cauldron at the inn there are getting their mail, and one person's clearly getting a hat. And I thought it was funny because it was wrapped like a hat, and I was like, I hope that's not a birthday present or a surprise, because pretty obvious what they're getting. Now, at this point of the day, it's a little after 10:15. This park has officially been open for 1 hour and 15 minutes. The other park has been open for 2 hours and 15 minutes, counting that early park admission. And wait times are starting to jump a little bit. Revenge of the Mummy's already at 60 minutes. Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts is at 45. But there's one thing that is going to get a long line later in the day, but it only is a 10-minute wait right now. So we're headed to do that. Hello?
I know, Mike, but it's only on, what's this? It's Tuesdays? You'll be fine.
Hello.
How are you today?
Good. I'm a little chilly. How are you, Simon?
Yeah, you know, same.
I'm good. I was gonna take the train, but could you guys take me to Hogsmeade or?
Okay, here the look. We have no driver.
Yeah.
Oh.
Honestly, no drive.
Okay, you're not the driver?
No, I'm the conductor only.
Oh.
They won't give me no license for some reason.
I can't figure it out.
I kept my finger on the
Makes
way.
no sense to me.
I agree.
No ideas is wrong, is no ideas. I can drive this bus. I'll do it right now. Never mind, I'm stuck.
Well, I tried to catch a ride on the night bus, but according to the conductor and the head, they don't have a driver. So we're gonna take the train right now. That's right, the Hogwarts Express, the transportation between the two parks. That is a magical journey, one that you will recognize if you're familiar with Harry Potter. Usually gets a very long line because it's later in the day most of the time that people want to park hop, not within the first couple hours of the park being open. So right now it only has a 10-minute wait. Now you do need a park-to-park ticket to take the Hogwarts Express because it is literally taking you in between the two different parks. But as a Harry Potter fan, it's delightful. And again, it gets a very long line because it's a very low capacity, very long load and unload process. So most of the time during the day when this has a 60-minute wait, it's much faster to walk between the two parks. But if you're a Harry Potter fan, you probably want to ride it. So doing so in the morning is usually the best choice to do it. Now, one thing that's unique about Hogwarts Express is what you see out the window is going to be different depending on which way of the journey you're going. Also unique, if you start here at King's Cross Station, you have to get to platform 9 3/4 between platforms 9 and 10. You run straight at the wall if you're a little nervous. And then, just like magic, good to see you. You look well. I'm so glad nothing bad ever happens to you. You get it. I cannot even tell y'all the last time that I showed up to the Hogwarts Express and was on the next train that I saw. Even with Express Pass during the day, it's just such a slow load and unload process and it has such a low capacity that this is one you can plan on waiting a little bit for. And so if you really want to ride it, both ways, doing it in the morning is a great choice.
Gryffindor, 2D, well, 3 on either side, doesn't matter which one.
Could use a snack. Where's the food trolley? Hermione, can't you conjure up some pumpkin pasties?
Ron, food is the first of the 5 principal exceptions to Gump's law of elemental transfiguration.
Inspector Patrona!
We have arrived at Hogsmeade Station. I'm not gonna lie, every time I do the Hogwarts Express and Hagrid welcomes us after seeing Hogwarts, I get a little teary. Now, one of my pro Harry Potter nerd tips is if you are here and you've just gotten off the train, come down this way and get yourself a really nice selfie or picture with the train because it's probably the best angle you can get of the train anywhere. Absolutely stunning, love the train. And now we are headed into Hogsmeade, where I must confess, I did have another reason to get on this train around this time, because historically, you can usually get on Hagrid's with a lower weight. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM is the most popular ride in either park here at Universal Orlando. And like I said earlier, it's very, very popular for early park admission, especially because it doesn't have Express Pass. So a lot of the resort guests, annual pass holders get here as early as they can for that and knock it out before the lines get too long. Then when the park opens again an hour later for non-resort guests, another rush of people head to Hagrid's. And as you saw earlier, it had a 105-minute wait. But often there is a dip in the mid-morning once all the people that have gotten here early have already ridden it from those earlier lines, and you'll see it usually drop like 30, 45 minutes in wait. Now, as a little added suspense today, I'm not sure if it's actually even open right now because it's not showing a wait time in the app, but it also doesn't say delayed. Universal recently updated their app and it looks great, but I think they're still maybe having a few little issues with it. Let's see. As I'm here, it looks like it's delayed, but I'm gonna see how much longer that delay is gonna be because we may be lucky and be able to like just jump on as soon as it reopens. There's a lot of people lurking out here. Hagrid's was at a 60-minute wait, which is very low, a little after 10. It's now about 10:45. So theoretically, my plan would have worked. But it's closed right now for a wind delay. Again, the weather is cuckoo banana crackers right now here in Florida, and this attraction has to close if it's too windy just because of the way the track works and the way the vehicles work. Obviously, safety comes first. So some of the nice team members told me that they basically have a wind meter they have to measure, and if the wind gets too high, it resets, and they have to keep waiting until it doesn't reset and that it is safe to operate the vehicles. They said there are still some guests in line that chose to wait that were already in line when they closed, and that so you're gonna be adding to an additional wait. But I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna hope that it opens up soon. But theoretically, if it weren't for the wind, this is a very good move because if you look at historic data of wait times, there is usually a dip somewhere between 10 and 11 or 11:30. All right, let's take a look at the other wait times while we have a minute. Let's see any highlights here. We've got 10 minutes still on both sides of the train. 15 at ET Adventure, 30 at Illumination's Villain Con Minion Blast, 35 at Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts and Men in Black, 45 at Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey and Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man and Revenge of the Mummy and Simpsons, 55 at Velocicoaster, 60 at Incredible Hulk and Despicable Me Mania Mayhem, 75 at Flight of the Hippogriff, as well as Transformers. Kong looks like it's delayed, and then Jurassic Park River Adventure is closed for refurbishment, I believe. And then Hagrid's doesn't say anything, which is why I was a little confused earlier. But I think it's partly because of the new update that they've done, which did make the app more user-friendly. Additionally, one of my favorite things in the app, they made it even easier to use, is you can do a wait time alert. So let's say you want to ride Jurassic World Velocicoaster, but you don't want to wait 55 minutes for it. You can set an alert, let's say for 15 minutes less at 40 minutes, and then it will send you a push notification if and when that attraction hits that lower wait time. That's how I knew Hagrid's had hit 60, because I set an alert for an hour or less, and it let me know a little after 10 that had happened. Now, when you have a really popular attraction, like Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM, or perhaps Jurassic World Velocicoaster, maybe Rise of the Resistance over at Disney, and it's down, it isn't a terrible idea to hang out for just a few minutes and see if it comes back up, especially if it's something like weather where it could come back up kind of willy-nilly. It's not a good idea to spend your whole day standing right here, but if you can quickly get in the queue once they reopen, you probably will have a shorter wait time than if you jump in later. It's kind of a gamble, obviously, if you want to stay in line or if you want to lurk outside. I wouldn't spend too much of my time here, but if I was especially already in the queue when they went down, I would definitely wait a little bit to see if it comes back up because you've already done a lot of your waiting time. And if you're out here, well, you could go get a drink, you could go get a butterbeer, you could go get a snack, you could do some wand magic in the area and kind of just stay not too far away so you can try and get on quickly. Captain's Log update. I've been waiting outside the attraction for 15-20 minutes and it's only getting windier, so I don't think this would be worth it to stand here any longer. It's also kind of out of the rope drop time because it's a little after 11 a.m. Both parks have been open for at least 2 hours. This park's been open for 3 hours, which means we are kind of hitting those peak wait times in the day. A lot of our attractions are already over 60 minutes, so that sweet spot of getting here early and taking advantage of some of those lower wait times is gone. But I promise this would work if Florida wasn't having uncharacteristic weather right now. There is quite literally a dip. If you look at graphs that track wait times, there is a dip after 10 a.m. and that comes back up in the early afternoon because everybody's rope dropped it and the other people usually haven't park hopped yet. So it's a very good time to try and ride Hagrid's start watching it at 10, from 10 to 11:30-ish, be watching it. And if it drops to, I would say, if it's 60 minutes or less, jump in this queue, because it is normally 90 or longer. But still, even without being able to do Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM right now, I think we had a pretty good morning. And I am sticking around here to film another video, so I'm gonna keep an eye on it, and I will come back into this video to update with the wait times and if I wrote it and things like that. But we still were able to do Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts basically as a walk-on. The train was basically a walk-on. We got to have breakfast and go into a very empty Diagon Alley. I would recommend if you want to do this, you could have stopped by the Mummy on your way to Diagon Alley. It might have been a little bit more crowded and you might have had a little bit longer wait at Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts, but you also could have knocked out Mummy very quickly. I really do think if you are coming to this park and you are not staying at a resort or you're not going to get there a significant amount of time earlier than early park admission, rope dropping the other park, especially when it's Universal Studios Florida, is the best way to go. You saw how empty it was walking in there. You saw how empty it was walking into Diagon Alley, and that is the best way, in my opinion, to get a very empty Diagon Alley, which so many people want, which is perfect for riding Gringotts, is perfect for doing magic, going to the Leaky Cauldron, exploring the shops. And if you're a Harry Potter fan, like I know so many of you are like I am, that is one of the best things you can do with your morning admission. Especially because if you've got Express Pass from either purchasing it or staying at one of the premier hotels, you can't Express Pass away the lines at Magic, at the restaurants, at looking at the shops. So that value of getting an empty Diagon Alley is even higher, in my opinion. Plus, taking the train early, whichever way you're going, is a great tip because, again, still both of them are 15 minutes or less right now, and that's only going to get longer. And during the middle of the day when most people think it's a good time to park hop, they're going to be 60 plus minutes, so the train is a great thing to do in the mornings here. Let me know if you want to do another version of this with early park entry to show what that looks like, trying to get on a Hagrid's as a resort guest or a certain kind of annual pass holder. We can certainly do that. We've done this at most of the other Disney parks. We can do it other places as well, but do it out at Disneyland. Wrap up Disney World, so let us know all that down in the comments. Captain's log, it is 12:40. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM has reopened. It is a posted 45-minute wait. So I am taking a break. I'm postponing my other videos, rest of things I have to do, and seeing if I can get on Hagrid's in less than an hour. Captain out. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM has a 48-inch height requirement and a very weird ride vehicle. So I highly recommend sitting in that test seat before you ride it. You're either gonna be on the motorbike or the sidecar. Motorbike is totes more fun, IMO. But both seats are phenomenal. It is my favorite attraction, not only in this park, not only at Universal Orlando, but that I've ever been on in the whole wide world. And let's see if we can sneak in here before it gets too backed up. Another good sign, they haven't filled out all this part past Hagrid's Hut. Normally this is all back and forth and not moving.
Come on now, get the move on.
Hi, Thing. Time update, it's been just over 25 minutes and I'm already in the final room. And they have the sounds on up top. They don't always have these on, and it's really fun to listen to Hagrid and Arthur duplicating the motorbikes and talking about creatures. Best ride ever. We got here just in time. It was posted 60 when I went through the queue, and it ended up being 32 minutes to get on Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure TM. And now that I'm getting off of it, it's a 90-minute queue, and the team members are outside saying that's accurate. So, like I said earlier, if you can sneak in right when an attraction comes back up, you can have pretty good luck. And we did have good luck riding Hagrid's today with a lower wait time. It was just a little later than I wanted it to be in the video, but you know what? That's okay, because being flexible is key to theme parks. Having a plan is number one, but being flexible and being able to modify that is number two. But now, goodbye for real, back to Molly from the past. And in the meantime, friends, make sure to rate, review, subscribe, follow us on social media, come hang out in Discord, and until next time, friends, I'm Molly, and it's been so magical.